The old human warship floated in space like a forgotten ghost. Its metal skin was dull and scratched. It drifted alone against the stars, looking weak and lifeless. Admiral Peter Blackwood stood with his hands behind his back, watching it through the big window of the alien ship. He was the only human in a room full of aliens. The blue-skinned Catraxians towered over him, all four of their eyes staring down with clear dislike. "Ambassador Blackwood," said Supreme Commander Vexilor, his bug-like mouth parts clicking together. "You say this old junk has value? Our machines say it has been sleeping for 70 years. Peter kept his eyes on his old ship, the USS Defiant. His face showed nothing, but inside his mind raced with plans. The Defiant wasn't thrown away, Peter said carefully. It was put away safely. There's a big difference. Captain Olivia Grant moved to stand beside her admiral. She was younger than Peter, but her eyes were just as sharp. Her neat uniform looked out of place among the strange shapes of alien clothing. "Supreme Commander," she said in a strong voice. "Our records show the Defiant was put into a deep sleep, not left to die." The aliens looked at each other. Their top eyes blinked one after another in a wave. Peter knew this meant they thought the humans were stupid. "Sleep?" laughed Sub-Commander Zith, another high-ranking alien. "Your kind, and its silly words. The ship has no power, its guns don't work. Its brain would be like a child's toy compared to our ship's. It is, as you humans say, useless junk." Olivia's hand tightened into a fist, but Peter gave her a small look. Not now. The Catraxians had been working with humans for 20 years, saying they were friends. But lately, they had been taking over, more and more space that didn't belong to them. This friendly visit to the edge of human space was really a show of power. "Maybe you're right," Peter said with a small smile. "But old tools sometimes work when new ones break." "How so?" asked Vexilor, his voice full of doubt. "They're built strong. They last long." Peter's smile stayed in place. "And sometimes they have secrets." The group walked away from the window, moving deeper into the massive alien ship. While the leaders talked, Lieutenant Sam Rivers, a young officer with quick eyes, slipped next to Olivia and passed her a small screen. "They're blocking our calls home," Sam whispered. "And 3 more of their warships just showed up." Olivia kept her face calm as she subtly showed Peter the screen. The Admiral barely nodded, but his eyes hardened. "Supreme Commander," Peter called out suddenly. "Could we visit the Defiant up close? To take pictures for our history books?" Vexilor's mouth clicked quickly. A sound humans had learned meant annoyance. "Ambassador, shouldn't we be talking about our plans for your border worlds?" "Think of it as sharing culture," Peter answered smoothly. "You've shown us your amazing ships. Let me show you a piece of human history." The alien leader thought for a moment, his 4 eyes blinking in different patterns. "Fine. We will let you have your walk through old memories. Though I don't see why anyone would care about outdated machines." An hour later, they sat in a small shuttle flying toward the silent human warship. Through the window, the Defiant grew larger. Up close, the ship wasn't as small as it had looked from far away. Its hull was marked with old battle scars and repair patches. The name was still visible on the side, though the paint was faded. "It's bigger than I expected," said one of the junior Catraxian officers. "Humans used to build big before they met us," Vexilor said, "before they learned better ways." Peter ignored the insult. As they got closer, he studied every inch of his old ship. The weapon ports were sealed closed. No lights shone from any window. It truly did look dead. But Peter knew better. As the shuttle circled the old warship, Olivia moved next to Peter by the window. Away from alien ears, she whispered, "The alien fleet is getting into attack positions around our colonies. We've lost contact with Border Station 5. Peter's face turned grim. "They were never here for talks. They're here to see if we'll fight back when they attack. And they think we can't," Olivia said, "because we signed away our right to build warships 20 years ago." Peter's eyes gleamed as he looked at the Defiant. "But we didn't sign away the ones we already had." The shuttle slowed as it approached a docking port on the side of the human vessel. Dust floated in the lights of the shuttle. The metal looked rusted and old. "Your ship may fall apart if we dock with it," laughed Zith. Perhaps we should turn back? The Defiant is stronger than she looks, Peter said firmly, much stronger. As the shuttle connected with a clang to the old ship, the lights in the docking area flickered on weakly. The door slid open with a groan of metal that hadn't moved in years. "Your ship sounds sick," said Vexler. "Just stretching after a long nap," Peter replied. Lieutenant Sam discreetly passed Peter a small device as they prepared to enter the Defiant. It looked like a normal data pad, but Peter knew it was much more. "Sir?" Sam whispered. "Chief Engineer Alan Mason is already aboard. He snuck in last week when we first got wind of their fleet movements." Peter nodded slightly. "And the activation codes?" "Loaded and ready. Just need your command." As they stepped into the dusty corridors of the old warship, the alien delegation looked around with open disgust at the cobwebs and dust. But Peter, Olivia, and Sam exchanged quiet looks of hope. "Supreme Commander," Peter said with a politeness that didn't reach his eyes, "let me show you the bridge of the last real warship humans ever built, before we became such good friends." The aliens didn't notice how Peter's hand tightened around the data pad, or how his finger hovered over a hidden button that would wake a sleeping giant. The air inside the Defiant smelled old and stale. Dust floated in the weak emergency lights that had turned on when they entered. The Catraxian aliens looked around with wrinkled noses, clearly unhappy with the conditions. "Your ship still has air," said Vexler, sounding surprised, "though it smells like a forgotten closet." "Basic systems stay on during sleep mode," Olivia explained as they walked deeper into the ship. "Just enough to keep the ship from breaking down." Their footsteps echoed in the empty halls. The Defiant had been a top warship when it was built, one of the last real fighting ships made before humans joined the Galactic Compact and promised to stop building weapons. The ship was plain and tough-looking, built for war, not beauty. "This way to the control room," Peter said, leading the group through the main hallway. "I think you'll find it interesting even if it's old." As they walked, Peter noticed small things that told him the ship wasn't as dead as it seemed. Tiny lights blinked on control panels. The air moved slightly through the vents. The emergency lighting followed them as they walked, turning on ahead and off behind. The ship was awake, just pretending to sleep. When they reached the bridge, a man was waiting for them. Chief Engineer Alan Mason stood by the captain's chair, his old hands stained with grease. He gave a stiff salute when he saw Peter. "Admiral, Captain, welcome back to the Defiant," he said formally. "At ease, Chief," Peter replied. "We're showing our Catraxian friends around this old ship." Alan's eyes moved quickly to the aliens, then back to Peter. A tiny nod passed between them that no one else noticed. "Of course, sir. I've been doing regular checks. Would you like me to show everyone?" "The engines. They were very special for their time." "You maintain this floating junk pile?" Vexilor asked, running a long blue finger along a dusty control panel. "How sentimental you humans are." "We care about our history," Olivia said calmly. "And the Defiant was once our best ship. Before you learned that fighting was pointless," Subcommander Zith added. "Your entrance into the Compact required you to give up your weapons, did it not?" Peter smiled thinly. "We agreed to certain rules, yes." While they talked, Sam moved to a side control panel. He looked casual, but his fingers were busy typing in what looked like system checks. At the same time, Alan moved to the engineering station, tapping commands while explaining the ship's design to the bored aliens. "Perhaps we should go back to our ship," Vexlor suggested after half an hour. "We have important things to do." "Just a few more minutes," Peter insisted. "I want to show you the battle room. It's where we used to plan our fights." The battle room was one floor down. As they walked down the stairs, Alan whispered to Olivia, "Everything's ready. Just need the start code." When they reached the battle room, Peter walked to the main control panel. "This system used to connect to all weapons and shields," he explained, resting his hand on the surface. "May I show you how it works? It's quite clever for its age." Vexler waved a hand in boredom. "If you must, Ambassador." Peter's fingers moved across the panel in a pattern that looked random. To anyone watching, he was just turning on an old display, but he was really entering a secret code. Authorization: Blackwood, Peter J. Admiral. Command code: Phoenix Rising. Deep inside the Defiant, something stirred. Sleeping systems began to hum with new energy. Throughout the ship, lights flickered on as power flowed through long unused parts. "What's happening?" Vexlor demanded, his 4 eyes narrowing with suspicion. "Just turning on some old displays," Peter said calmly. "Nothing to worry about." But the alien commander wasn't fooled. "You are waking up this ship. Stop now." Before anyone could answer, a blue light appeared above the control panel. A woman's voice, clear and strong, filled the room. Phoenix Rising. Activated. Battle systems online, brain core starting. "Good afternoon, Admiral Blackwood. It has been 23 years and 147 days since I was last awake." Vexler's mouth parts opened wide in alarm. "A thinking machine? Humans are not allowed to have military thinking machines under compact rules." "The Defiant was built before those rules," Peter replied, dropping his friendly act. "And, technically, Maya isn't a thinking machine. She's an advanced neural interface, a difference your people insisted on when writing the compact." "Maya, report," Olivia commanded. "All systems returning to working order. Detecting 4 Catraxian warships nearby, 3 in attack formation. Analysis suggests they plan to attack." Vexler hissed. "This is against the rules, a violation of what?" Peter cut him off. "The peace your fleet is about to break? We know about the invasion plans, Commander. The only question is whether you'll back down now, or after the Defiant shows you why humans kept one old warship ready." The blue light of Maya spread through the room, turning the alien's skin a strange purple. Their 4 eyes darted around nervously. "You tricked us," Zith snarled. "This was never about history." "On the contrary," Peter said, "this is very much about history, about making sure the history of humanity doesn't end today." Alan moved to a control panel and typed in a series of commands. The whole ship vibrated as hidden systems came to life. The hum of power grew louder. "Admiral," Maya's calm voice reported, "Catraxian ships are powering up weapons. They are targeting human colonies in this sector." "Just as we thought," Olivia said grimly. Peter turned to Vexler. "Call off your attack, Commander. You're about to make a terrible mistake." The alien leader's eyes narrowed. "You think one old ship can stop 4 modern warships? Your confidence is amusing, human." "Maya," Peter said, "show the commander what the Defiant can do. Tactical display, please." The blue light shifted, forming a map of the space around them. The 4 Catraxian ships appeared as red dots. The Defiant was a blue dot. From the blue dot, lines of light spread out, touching each red dot. Where they touched, the red dots began to flash. "What is this?" Vexlor demanded. "A prediction," Peter said. "The Defiant wasn't just any warship, Commander. She was built during what we call the Last Stand era, when we thought we might be the only ones to survive if the worst happened. Weapon systems at 70% and rising," Maya reported. "Shield systems online. Drone fighters ready for launch." "Drones?" Zith looked alarmed. "You have no launch bays!" As if in answer, panels on the hull of the Defiant slid open on the tactical display. Small blue dots emerged. Dozens of them. "The Defiant has many secrets," Alan said with a grim smile. "Did you think these halls were empty just because no crew was here? Half the ship is automated weapon systems and drone bays." Vexler looked at Peter with new eyes, not mocking anymore but wary. "You hid this from the compact," he accused. "No." Peter shook his head. "We declared it. Check the records. Earth registered 1 pre-compact vessel as a historical preservation project. The Defiant. No one ever asked what she could do." As they spoke, the ship continued to wake up. Panels that had seemed dead now glowed with light. The air circulation grew stronger, clearing away the dust. And through it all, Maya's blue light pulsed like a heartbeat. "Now," Peter said, his voice hard as steel, "you have a choice, Commander. Order your fleet to stand down or find out exactly why humans keep one old relic around." Part 3. The reckoning alarms blared throughout the glorious ascension as the Defiant came fully online. What had appeared to be an abandoned husk now pulsed with energy, its ancient hull illuminated by the activation of systems that had lain dormant for decades. Supreme Commander, the tactical officer aboard the Catraxian flagship reported, "The human vessel is generating shield harmonics we cannot identify. Our targeting systems are unable to establish a lock." Vexilor, having been hastily transported back to his ship after being detained briefly on the Defiant, slammed a fist against his command chair. "Impossible! Their technology is obsolete." The bridge of the Defiant, Peter had assumed command, with Olivia as his second. The old ship's neural interface, Maya, had fully integrated with all systems, her holographic representation hovering near the captain's chair. She appeared as a shimmering blue figure, her form intentionally abstract rather than humanoid, avoiding the uncanny valley that had plagued early AI designs. "The Catraxians are powering weapons on all vessels," Maya reported. "Their targeting arrays are active but ineffective against our quantum deflection shields. They're not used to dealing with analog systems layered with quantum technology," Alan explained from the engineering station. "Modern defenses are all digital, predictable if you know the algorithms. And they definitely don't know ours," Sam added from tactical. The Defiant was the testbed for the hybrid systems that never made it into production. "Too expensive," they said. Peter nodded grimly. "Maya, open a channel to the glorious ascension." When Vexilor's image appeared on screen, Peter spoke with the authority of his admiral's rank. "Supreme Commander, your fleet is currently targeting a United Earth vessel in direct violation of the Galactic Compact. Power down your weapons immediately." "You deceived us," Vexilor hissed. "That vessel was supposed to be decommissioned." "Mothballed," Peter corrected. "As I explained earlier, we kept the Defiant operational because we never fully trusted your people's intentions. It seems our caution was warranted. You are outnumbered 4-1, Admiral. Whatever tricks your ancient vessel possesses, they cannot stand against the might of a modern Catraxian battle group." Loud alarms rang through the Catraxian ship, glorious ascension as the Defiant came fully awake. What had looked like an abandoned shell now glowed with power. Lights ran along its old hull like veins filling with blood. "Supreme Commander," a scared Catraxian officer reported on their ship. "The human vessel is making shield patterns we cannot identify. Our targeting systems cannot lock onto it." Vexilor had been quickly taken back to his ship after being held, briefly on the Defiant. Now he slammed his fist on his command chair. "Impossible. Their technology is too old." On the bridge of the Defiant, Peter sat in the captain's chair. Olivia stood by his side. The ship's brain, Maya, floated near them as a glowing blue light. She didn't look human, just a blue cloud that moved and changed shape as she spoke. "The Catraxians are turning on weapons on all their ships," Maya reported. "They're targeting. Systems are working but cannot see through our quantum shields. They're not used to dealing with both old and new systems mixed together," Alan explained from the engine control station. "New shields are all digital. Easy to break if you know the code. And they definitely don't know ours," Sam added from the weapons station. The Defiant was the test ship for mixed systems that never got built. "Too expensive," they said. Peter nodded. "Maya, open a talk channel to the glorious ascension." When Vexilor's angry face appeared on the screen, Peter spoke with the strong voice of a leader. "Supreme Commander, your fleet is pointing weapons at an Earth ship against the Galactic Compact rules. Turn off your weapons now." "You tricked us," Vexilor hissed. "That ship was supposed to be dead." "Put away, not dead," Peter corrected. "As I told you earlier, we kept the Defiant ready because we never fully trusted your people. It seems we were right. You are one ship against 4, Admiral. Whatever tricks your old ship has, they cannot stand against the power of a modern Catraxian battle group." Peter smiled slightly. "Would you like to test that idea?" "Maya, battle analysis." The ship's voice was calm. "Based on current scans, the Defiant can beat the Catraxian fleet with 87.3% chance of success. Damage to the surrounding area would be large." "You're lying," Vexler said, but his voice sounded less sure. The Defiant was the last warship built during what we call the Fear Time, Peter explained. When humans still worried about being wiped out by alien races. It was designed with one job, to make sure anyone who tried to destroy humanity would lose too much in the process. As if to show his point, the Defiant's weapon systems came fully online. Doors along the hull slid open, showing weapons that the Catraxian scans had not detected. Those are not normal weapons, Vexlor said, his eyes growing wide. No, Peter agreed. They're not. The Defiant carries quantum disruptors, gravity distortion projectors, and a full set of hunter-killer drones. All weapons that were banned under the Compact, but again, this ship was built before those rules. On the battle screen, the hunter-killer, drones launched. Small, fast ships that moved with strange precision as they took up positions around the Defiant. Last warning, Commander, Peter said. Pull your forces back to your own space or we will have to show you exactly why humanity keeps one old relic around. As Peter spoke, Maya displayed what the drones saw. The Catraxian ships were huge, smooth, and clearly built for both beauty and war. Their hulls glittered with strange metals unknown when the Defiant was built. But the old human ship wasn't impressed. Catraxian ships use connected shield systems, Maya reported. If one shield falls, I can create a hole in all of them. Their weapons need 3 seconds to fully charge. The drones can hit in 2. Vexlor's face on the screen showed his shock. His people had always seen humans as the weaker race. Now he watched as the old human ship prepared to take on his whole fleet. Sir, Sam called from his station. They're sending messages to their homeworld, asking for more ships. Peter looked at Olivia. How long until their backup arrives? At least 4 hours, she said. But I don't think the commander plans to wait. She was right. On the screen, the Catraxian ships began to move. 3 formed a triangle around the Defiant. The 4th, Vexlor's command ship, stayed back. Classic trap formation, Maya observed. They think they have us surrounded. They don't understand, Alan said with a grim smile. Old Earth wisdom. The most dangerous place to be is surrounding something that's about to explode. Peter looked at the Catraxian face on the screen. Last chance, Commander. I don't want to destroy your ships, but I will protect my people. Your empty threats mean nothing, Vexlor replied. One ship cannot stand against our might. The age of human power is over. Peter sighed. Maya, show them what the Defiant can do. Defensive action only. Understood, Admiral. The blue light grew brighter as Maya took control of the ship's systems. The Defiant hummed with power as hidden weapons came online. Target the lead ship's communication array only, Peter ordered. Disable, don't destroy. A small ball of light shot from the Defiant. It moved faster than the eye could follow, striking the lead Catraxian ship. There was no explosion, no fire, just a silent pulse of energy that swept over the alien ship. All its lights went out. What did you do? Vexlor demanded, his voice rising in alarm. Quantum disruptor, Peter explained. It temporarily stops advanced electronics from working. Don't worry, life support systems are protected, but your weapons, shields, and faster-than-light drive are now offline. The other Catraxian ships began to back away, suddenly unsure. That was one weapon, Peter continued. The Defiant has many more, some designed to disable, others. He let the words hang in the air. Well, let's hope we don't need to use those. The hunter-killer drones moved closer to the Catraxian ships, their weapons tracking every movement. Even without Maya's human-like guidance, each drone was smarter than most ship computers. You see, Commander, Peter said, the Defiant was built by humans who were afraid, who believed they might need to fight enemies with better technology and bigger fleets. So they built a ship that could think like humans, adapt like humans, and fight like humans with nothing left to lose. As they watched, the powered-down Catraxian ship drifted helplessly. Its crew would be safe but scared in the sudden darkness. The difference between us, Commander, Peter continued, is that you built your ships to win wars. We built the Defiant to end them before they begin. Vexler's face showed a mix of anger and fear. You have violated the spirit of our agreement. And you violated the actual agreement by planning an invasion, Olivia replied. We have the proof. We know about the fleet movements, the fake incidents at the border, the lies telling your people that war is coming. After a long silence, the weapons on the Catraxian ships powered down. We will withdraw, Vexler said stiffly. But our leaders will hear about this trick. As they'll hear about your planned attack, Peter countered. I suggest we go back to talking, Commander. War would hurt both our peoples. After the communication ended, Peter turned to his crew. They're leaving for now, but they'll be back, and next time they'll come ready for the Defiant. By then, Olivia said, the rest of the sleeping fleet will be awake. The Catraxians aren't the only ones who kept secrets. 3 months after the face-off at the border, things had changed in the Galactic Compact. The human team, led by Admiral Peter Blackwood, sat across from the Catraxians in the big meeting room on Neutralis, the fake planet built just for different species to talk to each other. The biggest change was how the Catraxians now looked at the humans. There was still dislike, but now there was also respect. The terms Earth offers are acceptable, said High Counselor Mevnar, her 4 eyes fixed on the human team. Unlike Vexlor, who had been sent to a far outpost after the border problem, Mevnar was practical and careful. However, we need checking rules for your hidden fleet. Peter nodded. That's fair. We're ready to let you inspect our sleeping ships, with proper guards for secret systems. The news that the Defiant wasn't the only pre-compact warship kept in deep sleep had shocked the galactic community. Some species called it breaking trust. Others, especially those who had felt Catraxian-friendly pressure, quietly applauded human planning. After the meeting ended, Peter and Olivia walked through the gardens of Neutralis. The fake environment perfectly copied an Earth spring day, with cherry trees in bloom and the gentle sound of fake bees. Do you think they understand yet? Olivia asked. She wore formal clothes for the council meeting instead of her captain's uniform. Peter thought about the question. They're starting to. The Catraxians mistook our willingness to talk for weakness. They're not the first ones to make that mistake. And the Defiant, has she been put back to sleep? Not yet, Peter replied. She's working as a training ship now, new officers learning old lessons. They stopped by a small pool of water. In the distance, people from a dozen species did the careful dance of between-star politics. You know, Peter said thoughtfully, when humanity first reached the stars, we expected fighting. We built ships like the Defiant because we feared the worst. Then when we found out that working together was possible, we embraced it fully, maybe too fully. Finding the balance is hard, Olivia agreed. Peace without being naive. Exactly. The Defiant and her sister ships were never meant to fight wars. They were made to stop them. Peter watched as ripples spread across the water. Maya calculated an 87.3% chance of winning against the Catraxian fleet. I remember. What I didn't tell Vexilor was that she also calculated a 96.8% chance that using those weapons would make the whole sector unstable. The Defiant was never built to win a war, just to make sure starting one would be unthinkable. Olivia smiled. When both sides lose, no one wants to fight. An old human idea. And still it works, it seems. Peter nodded. The real strength of the Defiant wasn't in her weapons or shields or even Maya's brain. It was the reminder that peace is a choice that must be made again and again. Sometimes an old relic can teach the most valuable lessons. A Catraxian diplomat walked past them in the garden. Unlike before, she gave a small nod of respect to the humans. Peter returned the gesture. Things were changing slowly. As they started back to the meeting room for the afternoon talks, Peter's message device beeped. It was from Chief Engineer Alan Mason aboard the Defiant. New officer training going well. Young ones learning to respect old ways while bringing fresh ideas. The ship approves. So does Maya. Peter smiled as he read it. He turned to Olivia. I was thinking, maybe we should take some of these young diplomats to see the Defiant. Olivia raised an eyebrow. The aliens? On our most secret ship? Yes, Peter said. The real lesson of the Defiant isn't about having the strongest weapons. It's about understanding when not to use them. Do you think the Council will allow it? Peter looked around at the carefully built piece of Neutralis, the product of 100 species finding a way to live together despite their differences. I think it's time for a new kind of diplomacy, he said. One built on honest strength rather than hidden fears. Later that day, after the talks had ended, Peter made his proposal to the full council. Many species were doubtful. The Catraxians were openly against it, but others saw the wisdom in what the humans offered. Show us this old ship, said the elder of the Talarian species, their light-filled body glowing with curiosity. Let us learn why you keep it. 2 weeks later, representatives from 7 major species stood on the bridge of the Defiant. They looked around with a mix of worry and wonder. Maya's blue light filled the room as she talked with them. This vessel, said the Catraxian representative, a younger diplomat named Kex, was really built to prevent war rather than win it. That's right, Alan said, as he showed them the engine room. Her weapons are terrible and powerful, but her greatest strength is in showing what would happen if they were used. In my culture, said the plant-like Verdani ambassador, we have a saying, the strongest tree is the one that never needs to prove its strength. Peter nodded. Humans have a similar idea. Speak softly and carry a big stick. The alien diplomats looked confused at the strange human saying. It means, Olivia explained, that true power comes from being strong enough that you never need to show your strength. The Defiant is our big stick. As the tour ended, Peter watched the aliens leave with new understanding in their eyes. The old ship had taught them something words alone never could. That night after the diplomats had gone, Peter stood alone on the bridge of the Defiant. Maya's light glowed softly beside him. Do you think it worked? He asked her. Diplomatic outcomes are difficult to predict with certainty, Maya replied, but my analysis suggests a 74.2% increase in mutual respect between species. Peter smiled. Technical as always, Maya. I was designed that way, she said, and Peter could almost hear amusement in her voice. Though I find I'm learning more human patterns of thinking the longer I'm awake. Is that a good thing? Maya's light pulsed. Thoughtfully, humans built weapons that could destroy worlds, then chose not to use them. You created me with the power to outsmart any enemy, then taught me to value peace. Yes, Admiral, I believe human thinking has much to recommend it. Peter looked around at the old ship, at the mix of outdated controls and hidden advanced technology, and felt a sense of pride. Not in the weapons or the clever secrets, but in what the Defiant truly stood for. The human ability to build tools of war and then find the wisdom not to use them. We'll keep you awake a while longer, he told Maya. There are still lessons to teach. And I still have much to learn, Maya replied. As do we all. As Peter left the bridge, the lights dimmed to a gentle glow behind him. The old ship wasn't sleeping anymore, but watching, ready not for war, but for something far more difficult and far more important, peace. The end.